Hello and welcome to Buckman's Modelmania. Today we're going to start putting it all together on the Moomin house and the lighting. You can see here I've got the cable from inside the house. All this cable does is run from the house, from these connections here over to this plug so that I can get power in. Don't know if it's obvious to you, but it's very obvious to me that I have way too much power or way too much wire here. What I need to do is get this shortened down, and it's going to stay hooked to all of these. And the key thing is, once I get it, get to the point of putting it together, or I am at the point of putting it together. But once I get the wire down inside of here, I'll then glue this to here, matching these 2 points here. The other 2 points are actually here, but I'm going to glue this down. I will clamp it, do a lot of clamping to it. Right now I have just a glue dot right here, and I don't need that anymore because it's going to get permanently glued down. Maybe I might use just double-sided tape because I do have this set up so that I can pull these out each separate floor. But what I've got to do is get this all fed down into the base here and probably down through the bottom of the base, because that's, I cut that hole specifically so I could get to these wires. I want to say, is this still loose? It is. I've not re-glued this. And so I can take this down like this, and I can put all the wires down through here and sort this out. Truly what I can do is cut this off here and then run most of this down here so that I can, so that this is the only thing that's really going in here. Put these down below, but just get everything ready to glue together, glue down, run some super glue around here, or actually, yeah, I'm going to glue it down. Sitting here thinking about it, it is really convenient to be able to pop this open right now. But once it's put together, I don't want to be able to be popping it open ever again, unless I pop open it from the bottom here. But there should be no reason I ever have to take it apart once it is completely done. So, like I said, time for that. Once this is down and glued in here, I will clamp it. These wires have got to go back up to the top. And you can see right now, let me turn on the power supply. Yeah, the wires here for the ground floor are already soldered in. So from here, I just need to start soldering it. I need to get the wires run, get the floors glued, get them soldered, and then go from there. Because you can see, if I can get this lead to hook up, it popped off. There we go. You can see right now that the lights inside in all the rooms are working, as is the fireplace. I didn't remember, it was one of these things if I had to do some finagling to get that to go. But what my plan is to get this put together, and then I'll come back and show you how it works and explain what the next step is for the second floor. And then the third floor I'll do the same thing, and then we'll talk about what I'm going to have to do in the attic, because I don't know yet. And this is actually going back to stage 70, which is when they say you can glue this together because the floors are all done. I didn't do that because I was working on the lighting. Now that the lighting's done, I'm going to go ahead and do that. This post right here and this hole right here are key in the in putting the floor into, or putting the basement and the floor together. We'll leave the cellar out for right now. You can see its light is right here, but we'll leave it out for right now so that we can get everything else done. So I'm gonna stop the camera, put this together, let it sit overnight. It's actually 10 o'clock at night right now. I'm gonna glue it, let it sit overnight, and we'll discuss it, or we'll take a look at how it went next segment, and we'll start working on the second floor. So I will be back. Okay, this has been sat overnight, glued the bottom. It was a little tricky to get everything in there, but bottom is now glued. All the lights are currently working. Hopefully they will stay that way. I just knocked this stairwell a little bit. I'll have to fix that. But you can see all the wires are coming out of the bottom right here. And then we got the other wires right here that are going to go up to the other levels. So let's find out how well this glued. And you can see I really, really clamped it. It looks like it did well. There was a couple of spots that I wasn't that sure about. And you can see, heard something, this thump. A little bit of a pop there, no big deal. But you can see it's not 100% on, but it's pretty close to the lines there. So I'll be using smaller clamps from here on out. Like I said, just pop this railing. Not going to be a big deal to fix that. But this is, so next thing is to put this on, run the wires up through the hole here. Let's go ahead and move this back. But the wires are going to, all four wires are going to come up through here. It gets easier with each level because there's less wires coming through. And at the same time, I've got to glue this staircase, or yeah, this staircase back into place. Not a big deal. A little bit of stuff going on, but it's going to be really, I think it's going to work out really well. And you can see even worse now how far this is popped. It's actually popped all the way down to this set of stairs, but, or that step. Not going to be too hard to fix it. Just a little bit of super glue and glue it back down and it'll be fine. I could probably get away with just popping it back in place because the pins are still fine. But I'm going to, once I get them back into place, I am going to hit them with super glue. It did do a little damage to the paint there, but nothing insurmountable. So we'll get the second level put together, you know, get this up in there glued, and then work on the, maybe do the soldering, and I'll come back and do the next segment. Stay tuned. I'm really excited to be putting this together finally like this. Okay, so I'm actually on the Sunday stream right now. You might have already seen this, but so I now have the power wires hooked up. I've taken this way down. There was about, let's see, do I have it? I threw it away already, I think. No, I didn't. It's right here. I took over a foot of wire out of here. So desoldered it, resoldered. Now these can go in here. I'm not going to push it all the way in yet, just in case there are any issues. I'm going to push it a little ways. It's going to be a little bit, my plan is I'm going to leave it like that with JST connectors out so that I can get them back, pull it back out and do any work to it I need to. But at this point, the lights are working. Very happy with the way this is going. Like I said in the last segment, next thing to do is run these wires up to the top of the house, starting with the next floor. So just really quick update mid work, just to show what's going on. I'll be back again later. Okay, second floor is permanently wired. Don't know if you can really see it on camera. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and zoom in. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Rotate it around a little bit. And you can see wires come up through here, comes over here, negative comes, or positive, no, negative comes over here, positive comes over there, soldered them both into place, and the lights are all working. And you can see I have a ton of clamps on here. I need to lock this down before it falls. So, getting there. Second floor is good. I've got all those clamps sitting on there. I'm going to take this off the bench, set it behind me for a while on the rest of today's Sunday stream, and I'm going to let it cure overnight. I want to let everything set perfect, be completely set. Matter of fact, let me throw this back up here and do a couple more shots of UV, because I used UV resin to glue the wires down, and the final wiring is glued down with that as well. So next, I'll be bringing it over once it's done, and the clips can come off, or not clips, the clamps can come off. Then I'll work on it some more. Do want to show that right there, oops, I hit the wrong button. So right there was a little bit tricky because there's nowhere to clamp in here. So I had to get it best I could clamped in here. Looks like it should be pretty good. It is solid together all the way around. Really pleased with the way this is coming together. And so I will stop the camera again here, and we'll come back later with another update. Probably won't be today, probably be tomorrow or the next day once, like I said, all the glue is set up. Okay, so this should be done. It has been a few days instead of a couple, but let me go ahead and take all these clamps off and make sure that everything looks good, and then we'll talk about what's coming next. Should be pretty obvious the next step. I'm just making sure that everything glued together okay. Ton of clamps on here. And the tabs are good. This is a little bit wonky to try and put it on its base because it still has the JST connector sticking out. So the last thing to do before I can move on and start attaching the walls is, well, let me turn off the light first. Disconnect this. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to run the cable here up through the conduit on the third floor, and then we'll put it back in place just like this, glue it down. Everything should be good. I believe I've already augured it out. I've got the wires up here, everything's resistored. So this will be the last wiring video until I get to the third floor. I am going to have to figure out how to get a wire through the next floor. Matter of fact, when I run this up, I'm going to have to figure out how to have a wire still hanging out while I still have the it open, because I've got to run a wire up, or a pair of wires up to the next floor, because the floor is the attic, and there's still lights, should still be lighting up there. So I'll figure that out after I get this done. What I'm probably going to do is figure out how to, let's see, I'm looking, there's no way to run a wire straight out to the edge, so I'm going to have it come up through the floor once the floor is actually attached. And I don't think the floor glues down to this, but I could be wrong. So, I say so a lot sometimes. That's where we're at this point. We're going to get this glued together, and you can see, don't remember if I pointed this out, it's been a few days since I've done anything, but the outside is black, or the negative wire. The inside is red, positive wire, along with resistors on every piece. Going to pause the camera again, and we'll be back once this is ready for the next step. Okay, so we've got the third story attached. Third floor, I don't know how you want to put that. And I'm going to take the clips off. There are a ton. Dropped one on the floor. But there are a ton of clips here. And it's still kind of wonky because I still have the JST connectors outside of the model. But everything is hooked up, except with the exception of the top floor. I've not yet hooked those up. I have, as I've done this, gone along and made sure that the floors are at least, or the walls are at least going to go on a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of work to get them to go completely on. But last thing that's left to do is I'm going to, for the wiring at this point, is I'm going to take this orange wire here and hook it to the red wire here, and the purple one will get hooked to the green wire. Once that's done, all the lighting for the bottom floors will be complete, and then I will run, probably going to use a magnet wire like this, the really thin wire, because it won't take that much grinding. Haven't done anything on here yet for where I'm going to run the wire from, but once this goes on here, I have to run a wire up through the bottom of this floor. Don't know where don't know where it's going to come out yet. Also don't know when I'm going to do that, because this part does not yet get attached. When we go back to stage 89 and start building again, that's when we're going to start working on when things will go into that floor. So I don't need to show you, I don't think, how this looks after it's wired. Wires are going to run to these points. I'm going to run this wire to here, this wire to here. And I'm going to run a third one away from it so that I have my way to get power to the top floor. Then I'm going to use the same as I've done. I don't think I've mentioned that all through this, well, the way I've glued these down, glues the wires down, is not with glue. I haven't used super glue. What I've used is some UV resin. I put it down into the grooves, and then I glue it with the UV resin, put ultraviolet light on it, and that glues it down. Works really well, and it doesn't do any damage to anything. To include, because I've recently used it on clear plastic, it doesn't mess up the clear plastic. So that is where I'm going to leave this at this point. I'm going to close out this video, get it posted. Actually, it's going to get posted in a week, maybe 2 weeks. But then I can get back onto the regular build for the Moomin, because I just looked it up and realized I haven't posted a Moomin video since June, and it is now October. A lot of things went on this summer that kind of shifted my priorities around. But since I'm now retired, my priority is back to building my models, posting my videos. So I hope you're enjoying the build. Hope you didn't. Let me know if you missed it. I apologize for the long delay. But hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for stopping by. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about 3-month-long delays in the middle of a large build like this. With that, I am going to say, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video or stream.
Modelmania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models. Buckman's Modelmania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models.